Hello everyone. Today I want to talk about something that doesn't get nearly enough attention but researchers have been paying closer and closer attention to in recent years, the invisible war between your hormones and your habits. And right in the middle of that war sits your gut. Think about it this way. You wake up, grab your coffee, maybe make some toast, and you feel ready to take on the day. But then mid-afternoon hits, your energy crashes, your stomach bloats, you feel irritable and off. Just a bad day. Not really. Most of the time, that picture is a direct reflection of a deep communication breakdown between your hormones and your eating habits. According to research, the gut microbiota is not just a passive system responsible for digestion, it's an active conductor that directly influences the metabolism of critical hormones like cortisol, estrogen, serotonin, and insulin. So what you eat doesn't just determine your calorie intake, it shapes your entire hormonal balance. In one study, irregular meal timing was shown to produce significant disruption in cortisol rhythm. Cortisol is known as the stress hormone, but it also directly regulates gut permeability, inflammation, and even the speed of digestion. When you eat irregularly, your body essentially shifts into alarm mode, and over time, that state lays the groundwork for a weakened gut lining. So why does this hit young adults especially hard? Because between the ages of 18 and 35, most people live with a pretty chaotic eating pattern, under the assumption that they're young and nothing can touch them. Late-night heavy meals, skipped breakfasts, processed food for lunch, all of it collides head-on with the body's hormonal rhythm. Here's the fascinating part. Your gut actually has its own nervous system. It's called the enteric nervous system, and it contains roughly 500 million neurons. Some researchers describe it as the second brain. And this second brain produces approximately 90% of the serotonin in your body. When we say serotonin, you probably think happiness hormone, but this molecule also regulates gut motility, hunger and fullness signals, and modulates insulin secretion. According to research, individuals who eat a fiber-rich diet show significantly greater diversity in gut bacteria, and that diversity is directly associated with more stable insulin responses. So foods like bananas, apples, and legumes aren't just healthy in a vague sense. They function as genuine hormonal stabilizers. Now ask yourself this. In the past week, how many times did you actually sit down for a meal? No screen, no rushing, at a consistent time. I'm asking because the body operates like a clock. We call this the circadian rhythm. And your gut has its own circadian cycle too. Eating late at night disrupts that cycle, scrambles hormone secretion, and ultimately creates fertile ground for conditions like irritable bowel syndrome and other digestive disorders. In one study, this issue was examined in a particularly striking way. Participants who simply regulated their meal timing without making any dietary changes whatsoever reported significantly reduced bloating, improved bowel movements, and lower cortisol levels. Just timing. Nothing else changed. You don't need complicated diets or a cabinet full of supplements to understand how your habits are affecting your hormones. Starting from the basics often creates the most powerful shift. Eating at consistent times each day, reducing processed sugar, adding prebiotic fiber sources to your plate, and drinking a glass of water before your morning coffee instead of after. These seemingly small steps can trigger a real transformation along the hormone-gut axis. One last thing I want to leave you with. Your body is constantly sending you signals. Bloating, fatigue, mood swings, that afternoon energy crash. These aren't complaints. They're messages. And once you learn to read those messages correctly, eating stops being an obligation. It becomes a language. A language through which you communicate with your hormones, and actually work with them instead of against them. According to research, the modern diet, high in refined carbohydrates, industrial seed oils, and ultra-processed foods, consistently elevates inflammatory markers in the bloodstream. And one of the key mechanisms behind this is something happening right in your gut. When the gut microbiome is disrupted, when the diversity of bacterial species drops and harmful strains start to dominate, the integrity of the gut lining weakens. Bacterial byproducts called lipopolysaccharides can then cross into the bloodstream, and when they do, the immune system responds. Every single time. That response is quiet, it's low level, but it never fully stops. I hope this gave you a different perspective. Drop your questions and experiences in the comments. I read all of them, and I'm genuinely curious what you think. If this video made you think twice about your daily habits, hit the like button. It genuinely helps this kind of content reach more people who need it. And if you're new here, NutriFlow is where we break down nutrition and gut health science in a way that actually makes sense for your everyday life. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. I'll see you in the next one.